Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep today into something pretty fascinating and maybe more complex than you'd think. Plant reproduction. Specifically, cannabis sativa.
Uh-huh.
You might know the basics, but we're going beyond that, looking at how its sex strategies, if you will, affect everything. Farming, industry. It's quite the story.
It really is. And what's fascinating, I think, is seeing how the plant itself evolved and then how humans stepped in.
Yeah.
So our mission today is really to give you a solid grasp of its natural ways being dioecious, but also these other forms like monoecious plant, hermaphrodites.
Right.
And then crucially, how we've learned to manipulate that, especially for feminized seeds. Understanding this stuff is honestly a shortcut to getting what's happening in this whole industry.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The wild type, the default. Cannabis sativa is mostly dioecious.
That's right, dioecious. Think two houses. So you typically have male plants producing male flowers and totally separate female plants producing female flowers.
Separate genders, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. They're obligatory outcrossers in nature. They need a partner.
But why is that separation such a headache for, say, medical cannabis growers?
Well, that gets right to the commercial side of things, especially for high THC cannabis. The thing is, if you want those really high quality flowers, male plants are bad news.
Bad news how? Just because they don't produce buds.
Well, that, but mainly because of pollination. If a female plant gets pollinated, its whole focus shifts.
Right.
It starts putting energy into making seeds, not into producing more flowers or those valuable phytochemicals, the cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids that everyone wants.
So a pollinated female flower is less potent, less valuable.
Exactly. Lower quality, smaller flowers, less of the good stuff. That's why growers often destroy male plants on site.
Okay, that makes sense. But you mentioned something about an evolutionary trick that plant uses.
Yeah, it's quite clever. If a female plant doesn't get pollinated, it seems to sense it's missing its chance.
So it tries harder.
It does. It actually ramps up flower production, making more and bigger buds, trying to increase its chances of catching some pollen. Growers call it the virginity advantage.
Huh.
And they absolutely leverage that to get those big, dense, resinous buds.
But there's a risk. Right, you said they're wind pollinated?
Huge risk.
Mm-hmm.
Just one male plant, maybe even from a neighbor's field if you're outdoors, can release enough pollen on the wind to potentially pollinate and therefore devalue a whole crop of females.
One plant.
Yep. Suddenly your high-grade floral product might only be good for extraction oil, which is often worth a lot less.
So you can see why spotting males early is absolutely critical. It's literally about protecting the investment.
Precisely. Any resources spent growing a male or letting females get seeded, it's just lost profit and effort.
Okay, so dealing with separate sexes is the main challenge. Does the plant ever sort of solve this itself? Like, have both sexes on one plant?
It does, actually, and that opens up a whole different side to cannabis. While it's mostly dioecious, sometimes you find monoecious plants.
Monoecious.
Yeah.
Meaning
male and female flowers develop on the very same plant. It's rarer in nature, but it's also something breeders have specifically selected for.
okay, why? What's the advantage there? Is it just convenience?
It's way more than convenience, especially for industrial hemp and certain other applications. The huge advantage is self-pollination.
Ah, so it doesn't need a partner.
Right, and because it can self-pollinate, you get much more genetic stability. The cannabinoid levels, for instance, tend to be very consistent from one generation to the next, much more predictable crops.
I can see how that would be good for industry. Consistency is key.
Absolutely. Think about it. Higher crop uniformity. Everything matures around the same time, which is great for mechanical harvesting.
Easier farming.
Much easier. And you can potentially use the entire plant. Get flowers for oils or cannabinoids, get seeds for food oil or protein meal, and get the stalks for fiber. All from one crop, one type of plant.
That sounds incredibly efficient. A multi-purpose plant.
It really is. It points towards more sustainable cultivation, definitely.
And these monoecious plants, how do they come about? Just random mutations?
Basically, yes. They evolved from natural mutations in the standard dioecious cannabis. Genetically, it's interesting. We know females are typically XX chromosomes, males XY.
Uh-huh.
With monoecious plants, it seems other chromosomes, the autosomes, play a role too. It's like the genetic combination XX plus certain autosomal genes influences the balance, allowing both male and female flowers to show up.
So it's a bit more complex than just the XY system.
A bit more nuanced, yeah. But whether it's a natural variation or something humans bred for, these monoecious types are a big step forward for certain kinds of cannabis farming.
Okay, but then there's this other thing I've heard growers talk about. Hermaphrodites.
Yeah.
That sounds similar to monoecious, but I get the sense it's different. Maybe not always a good thing.
You're right, it's different. And often, yeah, not seen as a good thing by growers aiming for seedless flower. Hermaphroditism is when a plant that should be female starts spontaneously developing male flower parts too.
Spontaneously, like mid-growth.
Exactly. You might see these little clusters of male pollen sacs. Sometimes they look like tiny yellow bananas popping up right amongst the female buds.
Bananas. Okay. That's a vivid image. And why does that happen? Is it genetic too?
It can have a genetic component. Some strains might be more prone to it, but
Yeah.
primarily, it's a stress response.
Stress. What kind of stress?
Oh, a whole range of things. Environmental stuff, mostly. Too hot, too cold, big temperature swings. Messed up light cycles are a big one. Light leaks during the dark period, or the wrong kind of light, or the light source being too close or too far.
Okay. What else?
Cultivation issues, too, like underwatering, overwatering, nutrient problems, too much, too little, or just the wrong balance. Plants getting root bound in the pots, not enough air getting to the roots. Even things like stressing the plant by removing too many leaves, or pest infestations or diseases.
Wow. So basically anything that makes the plant unhappy could trigger it.
Pretty much. It's like the plant's census conditions are bad. Maybe it feels like it's not going to survive or get pollinated the normal way.
So it hits the panic button.
Exactly. It's like a last-ditch effort to reproduce. If it's gone weeks past its ideal flowering time without being pollinated, it might think, okay, time's running out. I need to make some pollen myself.
And produces those little bananas you mentioned.
Yep. Sometimes called rhodolized pollen or nanners. It's pollen from a genetic female carrying XX chromosomes. It's the plant's backup plan to self-pollinate and ensure some seeds are made.
So it's functionally like a monoecious plant at that point, able to self-pollinate.
Functionally, yes, but the origin is different. It's usually a female under duress, not a plant inherently programmed to be monoecious.
And for the grower, this is bad because
Same reason males are bad. That pollen, even from a hermy, will pollinate the surrounding female flowers, leading to seeds. And seeds mean lower quality, less potent buds, a real headache.
right. Sounds like something to avoid. Is there anything useful about a hermaphrodite plant then?
Well, here's a fascinating twist. If you take the seeds produced when a hermaphrodite self-pollinates, and you grow them out, lab tests like PCR tests show they almost always grow into genetically female plants.
Really? Not the usual 50-50 male-female split.
Nope, because the pollen came from a genetically female XX plant, even though it was producing male flowers due to stress. So the resulting seeds are almost entirely XX.
So a stress-induced hermy could technically be a source of all female seeds.
Technically, yes, though often those plants might lack a bit of vigor compared to seeds produced deliberately. It's nature's own little workaround, but maybe not ideal for commercial scale.
Okay, so we've got dioecious, monoecious, stress-induced hermaphrodites.
Yeah.
It's complicated. If growers want guaranteed female plants without worrying about males or hermes popping up, what's the ultimate solution? There must be one.
There is. And this is where human ingenuity really comes into play. It's the science, or maybe the art, of producing feminized seeds.
Feminized seeds. I've heard that term a lot. How does it actually work?
The goal is basically to take a known, high-quality female plant and trick it into producing male flowers.
Wait, trick a female into making male flowers? Isn't that just creating a hermaphrodite?
Sort of, but it's controlled. We're intentionally inducing it. The key is that the pollen from these induced male flowers still only carries female XX genetics.
Ah, okay, so you get female pollen.
Exactly. You collect that XX pollen and use it to pollinate another normal female plant, or even the same one, for selfing. Since both the pollen donor and the recipient are female, all the resulting seeds have to be female. XX plus XX equals XX.
Clever. How do you do the tricking part? How do you make a female produce male flowers?
It usually involves applying specific substances that interfere with the plant's natural hormone balance, particularly ethylene. Ethylene is a plant hormone that generally promotes femaleness.
So you block the ethylene.
Right, you use ethylene inhibitors or certain other plant growth regulators. The most commonly cited and reportedly very effective one, especially for high THC strains, is silver thiosulfate.
STS.
Silver thiosulfate, how's that used? Usually, you mix up a specific concentration, around 3 millimolar, and spray it onto the female plant you want to reverse just once. Then you put the plant into flowering conditions, like a 12-hour light cycle. Within a week or two, you should start seeing male flowers develop.
Just like that.
Pretty much. There are other methods too. Colloidal silver is another popular one. It's maybe easier for hobbyists to get or even make. It's non-toxic, And you usually spray it more frequently, maybe daily for a week or two.
So different chemicals, same basic goal, disrupt the hormones to force male flowers on a female plant.
Exactly. There are others too: gibberellic acid, silver nitrate, cobalt chloride. Researchers have tried quite a few things. They all aim to promote maleness in a genetically female plant so you can get that XX pollen.
And the result is seeds that, with almost certainty will grow into female plants.
That's the payoff. It allows breeders and growers to produce seeds that reliably yield female plants, meeting those high standards for consistency and quality that the commercial market demands, especially for medical or high THC cannabis. It's precision breeding.
It really is amazing how understanding the basic biology and then applying a bit of chemistry leads to such huge advantages for cultivation.
Absolutely. It all connects. Feminized seeds are really the backbone of commercial high THC cannabis growing now.
Right.
It means growers can fill their space knowing pretty much every plant will be a bud producer, not wasting resources on males or dealing with accidental pollination. Maximum yield, maximum quality.
And combined with things like those efficient monoecious varieties for industrial uses.
Exactly. Both approaches, feminized seeds for high-value flower, monoecious for multipurpose industrial crops, lead to more predictable harvests, easier management, stable genetics, all crucial as the industry gets bigger and more regulated.
You can really see the economic impact. As laws change and demand grows, these techniques aren't just niche science. They're essential tools for meeting that demand effectively.
They really are, turning botanical complexity into agricultural efficiency and ultimately economic opportunity.
What an incredible deep dive. Seriously, from the wild plants needing a partner to these engineered monoecious types, and then this clever trick of making feminized seeds. Cannabis sativa is quite the evolutionary and agricultural marvel, isn't it?
It really is. The plant's adaptability is stunning, and its drive to reproduce, whether responding to nature or our interventions. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
Well, given how much it can change and adapt, what's next? What other forms might it take, naturally or through breeding? And how will our understanding of plant sex keep evolving and shaping its future and maybe even other crops?
That's a great question to ponder. Always something new to discover.
Always. Keeps things interesting.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. It's been truly illuminating. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll unpack even more fascinating insights.